All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to bring you up to speed and really kind of give you an idea of what I've been up to and the things that I've been doing. I will not be on camera for this because I really want to spend the time showing you the workflow, the things that I've been working on. As I mentioned, it's a very busy time for me. The start of the semester always is, and all of the things that I have going on have been keeping me extremely busy. But now that classes have started, and the courses are ready to go, I can start to do a few more things here and there. But what I want to talk to you about over the next few minutes is this journey I am on with Obsidian and Supernote and how I can transition away from using Blogger as my blogging platform while also start to think about how to intentionally build out a true website. So Blogger as a blogging platform wasn't one of my favorites to begin with, but it was a free tool as part of Google. It was not really user friendly. It never really gave me what I wanted to be able to use. And I just wanted to show you a few things that are very useful in Obsidian along with Supernote to really help build this out. Now, there is a small cost with this. You can get Obsidian Publish, and I'll put the links down in the description below, depending on if you're an educator, if it's for individual use, if it's a commercial license. I don't mind supporting Obsidian. The tool you're looking at on the screen right now is completely free. It's open source. It's a wonderful tool. It's great for second brain systems, and I'll also put some of my earlier videos on Obsidian down in the description as well. But if you want to take that to the next level, they offer the sync option. Basically, you can save your files locally, which is what Obsidian is. It's a markdown editor, so all of your files are local. And if you want to have access to those on multiple devices, you can use their sync service to sync that locally on each of those devices and then keep all of those files up to date. I choose to do that in combination with OneDrive locally, and that serves as kind of a redundancy and a backup for all of those files. You could do it with Google, you could do it with a lot of different things. All of my content that is currently over on Blogger has been moved, and I've since been expanding this into some other things. Now you'll notice here that the website, it says OFC website. I'll try and think of a better title for that, but that helps me keep it straight. So it's Organizing for Change website. And then I have all of the different pieces. Now, not all of this is going to be visible on the actual published site, and we'll show you that here in a little bit. But these are basically all of your containers. So you'll see I've got a blog container. I've got an images container. Those are your site resources. So images or anything that you're going to see like this on the home page. Now you can also create a folder to house pages, and I've done that here with my library. And then you'll see that there are some other folders. Again, these are for like the large files to keep them separated and organized. And then you'll see my pages that will have the actual links that become visible on the page. And the same with YouTube videos. So I highlight a few things YouTube video wise, but for the most part, I try and keep it pretty simple. And then you'll see the actual blog page, the home page, and the things I use page. A lot of you probably recognize this structure. It's similar in a lot of ways to what I've been using, but I want to show you something really cool before we go over to the live site. And I'm not going to actually publish this, but I want to show you what I can do with the Supernote plugin for Obsidian. And I've showed this in another video as well, which I'll link down below, but I want to show you kind of how this is going to streamline my workflow a little bit, because most of you know, I write out my notes handwritten on the Supernote, I transfer those to Word, and then I clean those up, and then I would paste that into Blogger. With this workflow, I can actually bypass several of those steps. So let's go ahead and open our blog folder. We'll go to 2025, and we will go to the 01 January because that is the folder. And then this was 1 week with the Supernote Manta. And what we're going to do though is I am going to switch over to Windows Explorer. And let me show you how you would do that. And then I've already got the windows open. But remember, both of these, the Supernote, and you'll see here's my handwritten and I only started it. It's not completed yet. Both of these are local. Both of these are cloud synced. This one to OneDrive and this one to my local device and to the Supernote cloud. But both of them are also running locally. So if I click and go to Open File Path here, or if I click and go to Show in System Explorer here, what's going to happen is you're going to get those windows to open up. And why this is so cool is this allows you to see there's my file. Now I've got my same file structure over here on the left, and I can go to blog and open that up. I can go to 2025 and go to January, and then I can copy this file and I can paste that over here. Now what's really awesome about that, if we go back to Obsidian now, and we'll also go back to Supernote, which we don't really need Supernote anymore, so we'll take that off. Now what's nice is you'll see right here is Supernote Obsidian moving forward. Now, this is why I love this program. I use the real-time recognition notes, and it shows you your writing and converts that over. So this is my handwritten text, and you'll notice it's not always perfect, although it does look at first glance like it is here. Now, this file is just a static file. If I just wanted to keep this, this is the way it would be, and I would be good to go. But what I want to do with this is I want to turn this into a blog post very similar to this. And you'll see this is what the blog post looks like after it's all done. So what I need to do here is I can do it one of two ways. Now, for those of you who've followed me over on Patreon, you'll know that I sometimes show the behind the scenes editing process and all of the exports. And again, I'm trying to streamline that process somewhat this year so that I can write more blog articles. But what I can do is I can either attach the markdown to the vault here, or I can attach it with the images. It doesn't change that this is going to stay, but what it does is it'll convert it so these images would stay, and then I could just keep those with the actual note. I'm not going to do that here for purposes of this because I just want to show you what this is going to look like. So I'm just going to say attach markdown, and when I attach the markdown, you'll see it created a note. And right here, now I can go back to the original note. I can get rid of that if I want, which I probably will. I might leave it. It'll depend how it renders in the final Obsidian website when I publish. But now you'll see that I have all of the text, and then I can just edit this. Now, one thing I will say is there is no reflow option, so I'm going to have to get used to this. It's not going to do it like you see on the Word documents where it reflows it and it fits to the page. That may make it a little bit slower, but what I didn't have to do was export it and then import it and then paste it into another program because it's already right here. And again, all of this is editable. I would take off the page because I won't need that, and then I would begin editing my text. And then when you're done, of course, I'll move this to images. And what's nice is it keeps that link back to it, even though it's there. If I click here, I'm going to go back and I'm going to see that original note. And then once I'm all done, of course, we'll have something very much like this. Now, what I want to do is I want to jump over to the live site. I'll do another video at some point on how publishing actually works. And also I'm going to link Vladimir Campos down in the description. He's the one that inspired me to do this and to get off of Blogger, primarily because I just think this is a much better platform. This is the Obsidian Publish. So you'll see up here, it's a working title. I haven't bought a domain yet, but this is live. I've been sharing it with members of the E-team, and I've also shared it on Patreon for supporters to take a look at in advance. The reason I like this so much is you have this very clean navigation over here on the left. Someone can choose whether or not they want to have light mode or dark mode. I'm set to dark mode, but they both look good. You can set custom themes. I pretty much find a custom theme that I kind of like, and I use that. I'm not a coder by nature, but who knows, maybe someday I'll change my mind on that. But right now, I'm pretty much sticking with the theme. And what you'll notice over here on the left, again, we have that home screen, we have the blog, We have those folders, which allow you to drop down and click on different things. But one thing that's nice about this is you also have the graph view. So if you want to interact with this in a visual way, you can enlarge this graph view, and all of these are clickable links to the different things. And you can also see interconnections between them. So, for example, the library topics and authors are already combined and linked to one another. So, as this grows, as this gets bigger, you're going to see this change. Also, you have the different links to my social media here. You have a little bit about my background. You have links to the different pages over here in the introduction. But what I want to show you in the way this works is kind of unique, or at least it's not something I'd seen before. I guess it's reminiscent of what YouTube does with analytics and some of their like dashboard pages where something flies in from the left or the right. But the nice part about this is if you wanted to, you could open multiple windows, and it's smart enough to know when you're opening a sub menu. So let's go ahead and take a look at my library. And this is something I've expanded a bit since the blog. And you'll notice this graph view over here got a lot bigger. So if we open that graph view, you can move this around and check it out, you'll see there are a lot more things here. But also you have the different topics. Now, I'm still filling this in. I have a tremendous amount of books and a whole lot of audiobooks, all kinds of different things. But what's nice about this is, and I'll go back to Obsidian here in a minute and show you how I get these, but I'm filling them in by topic here. And I haven't done all of the authors yet, but I will. And then you'll also see any page at the bottom here that links to this page. Pretty cool the way it works. But what's even nicer is if I click this, like let's say we want to look at Peter Northhouse and leadership. And what I've done is I've taken the Amazon description, which is publicly available, and then I've put my Amazon affiliate link here. So if you do want to click out, it'll take you there and you can purchase the book, and I get a small commission at no cost to you. But what's nice is now let's say you want to look at John Cotter, and it's smart enough to know that it's not going to keep scaffolding. What you'll notice here too is now, if you go to the graph view, here's Our Iceberg is Melting by John Cotter, and it shows you it's connected to the topics library. It's connected to his author page, and it's connected to the co-author. So let's just say we wanted to click on to find out a little bit more about John Cotter and some of his other books. Now, again, I haven't got this all connected yet, but there are several other books that are going to end up in here. And then you would click and it would take you right back to this. And again, it shows all of those connections. Just really cool. It's really intuitive. It's really fun. If you go to the authors page, again, you're going to see all of the authors that, at least some of them, that I've started to do on here. And then if you want to close any page, it's here at the bottom. But let's look at, let's say, my good friend Brian Alexander. You can see from here, he's listed in authors. He has 2 books, which are right here. And he also has his books listed here. And then YouTube videos, it's the same thing. If you click, you're going to go, you're going to see the previews. You can actually play them right in here. You don't actually have to go to YouTube. I also try to link to people who are in this space. And then, of course, my things I use, which most of you are familiar with. This is, again, all of the different hardware and pieces that I use. And then my blog. And I've managed to get this all the way back to the beginning. And you'll notice that even our first, what does getting organized look like? Kind of neat. Now, a couple of things real quick I want to show you before we depart, because again, this is a work in progress. Please, down in the comments, let me know what you think. Do you like this theme? Do you like the way it looks? What do you think about the graph view, which I tend to like? One other thing before we do jump out real quick. So if you go to the things I use, which is a really good one to see this on, any of the headings that I've created, you can use this little scroll bar over here on the right to jump to a particular product. So it knows which page is the current open page. and I can go to DaVinci Resolve, and it is going to highlight DaVinci Resolve there. And then same thing, as long as I've put these in as headings, it's going to skip around and allow you to jump to all of these different things and then back to the top. So you get multiple ways to navigate. And again, that's something that I find very useful. And one reason I went this way, so you're not having to scroll through and find information. I wanted users to be able to come in, get what they need, find it. And then you can also search by heading and topic. You can search a couple of different ways over here on the left. But let's jump back over to Obsidian real quick. And what I want to show you here is how I created that book note. For a book note, which is kind of cool, so you have your templates that you can use for anything. But what this does is I've set it up so that it will automatically create a book template as a note by searching the book. For example, let's say another book that I have, which is Dead Wake by Eric Larson. And if you're not familiar with Eric Larson, he is phenomenal. One of my favorite historians and authors, wrote The Devil in the White City. Just a great, absolutely great author. But what's nice about this is now I'm going to click on Dead Wake, and it pulls in the book cover, it pulls in the title, it pulls in different information. And then what I would do here is I will just delete a space here. I don't have an Eric Larson author page yet. Then I would put Eric Larson, and we'll go ahead and create this. Now what's happened there is there's no note there yet, but there will be. And I just went ahead and set that up. And then I would put the book summary here, and then I would put the Amazon affiliate link under here. This is just a way for me to keep all of my stuff together and kind of share that out if someone is interested in what I read and the things that I'm interested in, they can see that information. Now, I could go ahead and create an author note within my file structure, which a lot of times that's what I do, and then I'll link it in reverse. So I'll create the author note, then I'll put the author's name here, and that way I'm not moving multiple files. The book files I always have to move. That's just part of it. But for this particular piece, and you'll notice over here on the left, Dead Wake is kind of here in the file structure, so I'll have to pull it up into the topics where it goes. But let's say we wanted to put Eric Larson, we wanted to go ahead and put his template in. So I can go ahead, click on his name. Now it's going to have a linked mention for him. And what I want to do is I want to go over here to Templater, and I want to say I want this to be an author template. And now we have the Eric Larson note, and I want to go ahead and put his book in here. So I will put Dead Wake by Eric Larson. And then also The Devil in the White City, which I added earlier, but I did not put it in here. So now The Devil in the White City is linked to Eric Larson and that. So when I go back up to my library, I go to authors, I'm going to take and I'm going to put in, where'd you go, Eric Larson? Oh, sorry, Eric Larson. Because I didn't create it where it goes, and that's why I wanted to show you this, it put him all the way here at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take him and I'm going to put him up here. Now he's in my authors group, so I can close that. I'm going to put Dead Wake in my topics group. Now where it goes is it goes under topics, and it would go under history. So I'll now take Dead Wake and I'll put it under history. Now, a lot of times I'll do a bunch of this in advance, and then I'll go back and I'll do what I'm going to show you for this last part. So now I'll go to topics and my library, and you'll see I have the history category here. And there's Eric Larson with The Demon of Unrest. There he is with Devil in the White City. And then we are going to now add in Dead Wake. Now, these are going to be by alphabetical order. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and create a space here, and I will go to my topics, and there's Dead Wake. I'll pull it in, and then now I'll go to the author page, and you'll see Eric Larson is not listed. So I will make a space here, and you can either drag it or you can actually just search for it and put it in. So a lot of different ways you could do that. Now, what's cool about that is if I go here to Eric Larson, you're going to see there are the two books, Dead Wake, Devil in the White City. And I also had, if I want to go back, because I forgot the Demon of Unrest. So you'll notice I didn't put that in there. So if I go back to authors, Eric Larson, and then I want to do the Demon of Unrest. Now those are all three there. What's really cool about that is once I publish this, and as a matter of fact, I think I will go ahead and publish everything and show you what that looks like, except for that one new blog post. What I don't want to do is I don't want to publish. Usually this is just a quick publish, but I don't want to publish the blog post that I just pulled in that isn't ready yet. So if I hit publish, it's that quick. Now I'm done. If I go back now and I refresh, what you'll notice is now there's Eric Larson. All three of those already. If I click on his name, there's Dead Wake, which eventually I'll put the summary and the affiliate link in for. There's the Demon of Unrest, and there's the Devil in the White City. And again, if I go to this view here, I can see all of the different places that he is listed. All right. Well, thank you all very much. Like I said, I didn't hop on camera this time. I just wanted to show you this workflow, what I've been up to, how you can use the Supernote to hopefully even reduce my workflow moving forward so that I'm not having to work in 3 different programs to get the information. And what's nice about Obsidian is my entire vault is open to me. So if I need another resource, I can copy and pull it, and I can pull it into what I want to put on my site. I can write either by typing, or I can write in the Manta and then pull that in. It's going to be really interesting. I'm not sure yet. I know you can view on the Manta, and I've seen a couple of the tools, and I've talked a little bit about them, but we're going to do more of a deep dive into that over the next few weeks. But I need some time to really think through it and really get to the point where I can be informed and informative for you all. But in the meantime, thank you so much. Please follow me over on Patreon. Make sure you like, subscribe. Thank you all so much for the support. I'm looking forward to a fabulous year. And you will see my patrons scrolling, including the top tier. And I will talk to you soon. Until next time, just keep moving forward. Thank you now.